Good morning, friends! Welcome back to Kids Time. I'm so glad that you're here this morning. I'm Rebekah, the Children, Youth, and Family Director at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Missoula. And this week, our story from the Bible comes from the Gospel of Matthew. Now, if you were here last week, you might remember something about the Gospel of Matthew, because that's where our story was from last week too. But maybe we should think about it again. Now, remember we said that we already know something about our story just because we say it's from the Gospel of Matthew. So what could we possibly know already? Well, there are three big things that we know about these books called Gospels. The first thing we know is that there are four of them. There are four books in the Bible that are called Gospels. And those books are named Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's the second thing we know. That there are four Gospels and their names are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And the third thing we know about Gospels is that they're all about Jesus. So when we say that our story today is from the Gospel of Matthew, what do we already know about it? Well, we know that the story has something to do with Jesus. And our story this week from the Gospel of Matthew is about Jesus talking about hospitality. Hospitality might not be a word you use or hear very often, so say it with me really slowly. Hospitality. What even is hospitality? Well, hospitality is anything that you do to make someone feel welcome. So it's not just one thing. It's anything that we do to make people feel like they belong. So let's just say that you were going to throw a big party at your house with your friends. How might you get ready for that party? Well, I can think of a few things. You might pick up your toys so that the floor is clean and people would have a place to sit. And maybe you would ask everybody if they have any food allergies so that you could make a sweet treat that everyone could share. Or maybe you'd clean the bathroom so that when someone went in there, they didn't think it was all gross and stinky. All of those things are ways that we could show hospitality. They're things that would make people feel like they belong at the party. So in our Bible story for today, Jesus tells us that whenever we show hospitality to Him, we show hospitality to the one who sent Him. Wait a second. Who sent Jesus again? Oh yeah, God! God sent Jesus. So whenever we show hospitality to Jesus, we're showing hospitality to God too. And now, we don't really know when Jesus is coming back, but we can always be preparing so that when Jesus does come back, He'll feel welcome here on earth. And my guess would be that whatever we do to show Jesus hospitality is going to make other people feel welcome too, right here, right now. How can we possibly show hospitality to Jesus? I mean, I'd love to make Him my favorite peanut butter chocolate chip cookies, but what if He has a peanut allergy? And am I really supposed to keep my room clean all the time, just in case Jesus drops by? Well, to be honest, I don't think Jesus cares a whole lot about what kind of cookies I make, or even if my room is clean all the time. I think that there are different ways, bigger ways, to make Jesus feel welcome. And one of those ways is to start right in our own church. Now, I'd like to think that if Jesus came to our church that he would already feel welcome. And maybe he would. Especially if he was a lot like me, or maybe was a lot like you. He'd already know all the songs, and he'd be able to read the Bible because it's in English, and everybody else around him would be kind of similar. But what if Jesus had black skin? Or what if Jesus only spoke Spanish? Or what if when Jesus comes back, he doesn't have a home and hasn't showered in a few days and is kind of stinky? Do you think he would feel welcome then? We have no idea what Jesus is going to be like when he comes back. But when we show hospitality to all kinds of different people, we're preparing for Jesus in all the different ways that he could come back. We don't know what he'll look like or where he'll live, but when we practice showing hospitality to those who are different, we practice welcoming Jesus. And when we practice welcoming Jesus, do you remember who we're also practicing welcoming? Who sent Jesus? God! In our Bible story today, Jesus tells us that when we welcome him, we welcome God. So when we're practicing welcoming him in all these ways, we're practicing welcoming God. So this week, take a few minutes and talk to your family about how you can practice welcoming Jesus by welcoming people who are different than you. And while you're practicing your hospitality this week, don't forget to check out the Summer Activity Club. We're on our 4th week and we're in full swing. So if you haven't joined us yet, this is the week to do it. There's still time to join the club. And you'll be entered to win prizes and see lots of activities, and you'll even get another video from me every week. So if you haven't checked it out, this is the week to do it. I'm so glad that you were here with me this week, friends. It's been awesome. So remember, practice your hospitality this week. See you next week.